Dan Rothenberg and Joe Klosik, two guys trying to figure it out. Not the right wing, not the brosphere. Left of center, with humor and empathy.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome to the Splain. Man, we got to rehearse that.
Yeah, no, that was good.
Oh, okay. No, I loved it. I think we nailed it.
That was you and I mind melding.
Okay.
Between us.
A lot of chemistry.
Yeah, that was just totally organic. So, like and subscribe us.
Please, people, come on.
To us.
Our egos and self-esteem are on the line here.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's in your hands. It's in your hands.
Yeah, exactly. We're creative. We're at a lot of followers. A lot.
So many.
I'm not going to say the
Don't
number.
even ask. You don't need to know. It's changed a little bit. It hasn't gone down.
Yeah. Okay. We're getting better.
We're getting better.
People aren't
withdrawing.
better. In fact, let's skip, instead of subscribe, don't unsubscribe.
Oh God.
That's our new.
That seems like a very desperate
pitch.
Hey, you.
Just stay.
Yeah.
Stay
please.
where it is.
The shorts are doing well, I will say. Especially the last two comics that we interviewed, Marcus and Ian.
Now that we have Denise Lee.
Denise Lee is with us today.
Woohoo! Shorts are going to go nuts.
Go crazy.
This is the moment.
You're going to be the breakout star of the Splain.
We go viral. Yep.
I'm the reason. Oh my God.
You're going to be the reason, Denise. Yeah. No pressure. No pressure.
I'm not sweating. It's fine.
Yeah.
Dan, let me ask you before we throw Denise into this. Do you have a "Am I a dick" moment?
I was thinking about it. I haven't felt. All right, let me. I'll throw this at you guys. It's kind of a. I've been asking myself if I'm a dick ever since I moved to Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
And there's a cultural difference with small talk in Portland, Oregon. Okay, small talk is very open-ended and expansive, and you can't get out of it. Like Portlanders are just chatting constantly.
Is it
That's what the day is all about.
Like someone's asking you, "Hey, how's your day?" And if you don't answer, they're like, "I asked you a question."
Here's the difference. And in California, it's how's your day? How's it going? What's going on? Closed-ended questions, as we say in the therapy industry. Those are closed-ended questions. How's it going? Good. What's going on? Nothing. How's your day? Fine. Right? Here, it's all open-ended. So every time you go to a Trader Joe's in Portland, and so what do you got going on this weekend?
Oh shit! Yeah.
And
okay.
I still can't figure how. I'm not kidding. Always, what's happening later? And I can't figure it out.
These are essay
questions. What's the
questions.
short answer?
Yeah. What are you doing this weekend? Oh, I'm contemplating my existence and muddling through life.
Right. Which would actually.
That's very Portland.
That's
I feel
good
like.
Yeah, that would actually work. I mean,
I've got an existential crisis on the calendar. Wife and I are gonna argue.
Well, that's
about
what I mean.
stuff.
How honest am I supposed to be? I still.
So what do you answer
with
some like what do you got going on this weekend? How do you answer?
It depends on my social battery. 1 out of 10 times, I'm like, all right, let's embrace this.
Okay.
And
Bold.
go with the Trader Joe's. I'm doing some cooking, as you can see, and but otherwise, I tend to exude.
Yeah. What are the other 9 times? What do you say?
I exude impatience.
Oh.
And say
That's honest.
And say something like, nothing.
But maybe that's also the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to be in this conversation, and I don't want to talk to you. Just bag my groceries and let me get the hell out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
What if you said that?
Then I would be a dick.
Okay.
And then do
Then
they expect you to ask them back what's
Ooh.
happening?
Yeah. Yes.
That's
This
crazy.
one time, it's everything Trader Joe's.
Of course.
Another thing about Trader Joe's, okay, and I say this with full love. Everybody is gender non-binary.
It's Portland. Isn't that
In
the
Portland.
rule up there?
Yeah, is it not like that in San Francisco?
No, it is. If you're a customer service, a customer
Yes.
facing person, you have to have fluid gender. It's confusing to everyone, and on purpose.
So I feel like now Joe and I have talked about this. I always want to come off as the cool older guy
Yeah.
because I'm queer myself, even though you wouldn't know it, and I never get to be queer anymore. I'm bisexual.
Forget to be queer.
It's true. It's true. God, this really is all about. Sorry, I'll wrap this up in 2 minutes.
No, this is fascinating.
I'm a bisexual guy in a monogamous, just might as well be straight marriage, right? I'm very happy. So I'm looking for little pockets where I can exist so for me, so I feel like when you go up to young non-binary cashiers, there's a moment, right? There's always a moment of, okay, how cool are you? How are we going to play this?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm always and I always look and sort of give them I'm fine. How are you? Kind of you know what I mean? I am I'm
Way to
cool.
support, brother.
I'm so cool. You're surprised at how cool I am. You don't know what's going on.
Wow. Yeah, they got to
And then
stop everyone. Like, look at this straight white guy. He's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And the other day I did that, and I just had this moment of, God, it's a lot. It's amazing, the subtext of Trader Joe's. That's really all I wanted to say. It's just a lot.
Wow. That's a
going
lot.
on.
That's pretty. That's so much more than I have emotional and mental bandwidth for. I go to Trader Joe's and I just get food. You're
You
going
just
and
work there, Joe.
well, there's
No,
that
you
too.
guys don't experience any of that? Am I cool?
Oh yeah.
Am I
Yeah. I
exuding
mean,
tolerance?
I feel like in San Francisco, there is a lot of expectation for you to believe in or at least agree with whatever badges and stickers the customer service person is wearing, right? And if you don't, then there's just an awkward passive-aggressive stare-off, right? And a lot of times I'm like, I totally agree with what's going on. I like your hair. I don't care what your sexuality is. But you know what? I have 10 minutes to get to my bus. Otherwise, the rest of my day is going to fall apart. So
Right.
I know you want me to ask you about your buttons, but I really don't care what hole you stick it in. I just got to get out of here.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I say. That's what I say. Yeah, and that's what I tell them. And then they're like, "All right, you're a dick." No. But anyway.
Right. So you could just be impatient because you want to get your groceries, and then it comes off as a little bit of.
Yeah. I mean,
you're not being
look.
cool.
And I think when I was younger, I had more. The lack of tolerance I have now is for spontaneous conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which
with
is
you.
sad. Yeah.
Before you could plan for it.
Yeah. Well, when I was younger, I would be like, "Hey, man, yeah, totally cool. I'm with you on that." You know, they got some political button or some cause or some march. You know, or hey, I really dig the hair. What does that mean? You know, like because sometimes the hair color means something, or you know. But today it's just like, hey, listen, that ice cream is gonna start melting. And I got to get home to watch my Star Trek because I'm a fat old man who wants to keep my life small. All right? Thank you.
And that's valid.
Thank you,
Right.
Denise.
It's just about being old and wanting to eat your ice cream.
It's just one of you know, and it's like yesterday. Okay, here's am I being a dick? So yesterday, Christine and I, my girlfriend, we're driving, and traffic is really slow, and we're like, why? Why is the traffic slow? Well, you know, we're trying to get somewhere. And as we're going under an overpass. There's all kinds of people on the overpass with abolish ICE, and people are honking. And that's what's slowing traffic down. I'm like, you know what? I completely do not like ICE, and I think we should abolish them. But I'm also trying to get somewhere.
Right. Why do I have to suffer?
Why do I have to be mildly inconvenienced as a straight white man, forced to consider the ramifications of our out-of-control regime? This is going to make me about 2 minutes later than I would like to be pulling into the Trader Joe's parking lot.
For your ice cream.
For my ice cream. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like that comes up a lot for me. Like, yeah, I agree with that protest, but kind of inconvenient today, guys.
Yeah. How about tomorrow?
How about tomorrow when I'm not on the road?
You kind of you got to get over 50, and it's just about you just crotchetiness.
But anyway, now that we've completely talked about,
if I could segue into Denise Lee, our guest,
Honored.
I was just listening to your bit on. I'm trying to connect the dots here. You had a bit. It might have been on Instagram, or you were talking about how you're following somebody smells good.
Oh wow!
Somebody smells good, and then you start following them. That one jumped out at me.
Yeah.
You're on the street. Yeah.
Yeah.
And someone kind of smells good, and you start following them. The next thing you know, you're in the men's room or whatever.
Yeah. That hasn't happened to you before, Dan?
No, it actually I'll tell you the effect that had on me. I said to myself, man, I remember back when I was a comedian, I would have done that. I had the time. Seriously. Maybe I'm just reading into it from my point of view. Taking a little detour
Just
in your
to see
day. You're hanging out. It's 8 hours before you got to get on stage, and today is about following a smell.
Yeah.
And,
each day is a different sense.
And that's fine. Yeah, waking up in the morning and really not, and I don't know if it's like that for you. I think comedians are a little more, you guys have a little more of a plan, and perhaps are more productive during the day.
Denise, do you ever do something thinking this could be a bit, or I'm going to get a story out of it?
100%. It's almost exclusively why I leave the house.
Yeah. And that's why, I miss that. Yeah, you're going through the world, roaming the countryside, looking for funny.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because, like, I do love a routine. I love a routine, but then it's like, at a certain point, I'm like, I need new material. Like, I gotta get into this stranger's car. I gotta see what happens.
Wow, that's a dramatic. Okay, yeah.
You want some candy? Yes.
Yes, what kind?
Let's see where this takes me. How long have you been doing it now, Denise?
I have been doing it for almost 4.5 years now.
Really? That is so remarkably short, to be honest. Like,
really?
Yeah. For as good as you are.
Feels like a lifetime. No,
Does it really?
No. It feels like a very short time, but it feels both long and short in the sense that, like, I feel like in San Francisco, like, just within, like, the community of people who have just started within the last, like, 10 years or so, I feel like it's considered long because people are always moving. But I feel like in the grand scheme of things, obviously, it's, like, still considered, like, very, very short. But
I think 4.5 years is still a pretty short amount of time. But, you're really good, too, for, I don't feel like I really understood who I was and what I was doing until about the 5-year mark.
yeah, it's interesting. I still I feel that way a lot, honestly. I feel like I'm still not quite there with, like, my voice and, like, the things that I want to say fully, but it definitely feels a little bit closer. And I've heard people say, like, at the 5-year mark is when you start to, like, get a sense for who you might be.
And you're on stage a lot, though, right? Like, I constantly, how often, like, average stage time per week, how often are you getting up?
Well, work at Cheaper Than Therapy, so I'm there basically every Wednesday to Sunday, so
Wow.
7 to 9 times a week because we have two
Wow.
Fridays and
Wow.
Saturdays.
Is
And
that a club or a what is
it's
cheaper
like
than
an
therapy?
independent theater. It's like an independent theater. And so not like a true club, but they have shows there like every week.
I mean, I would say they operate like a club, Dan. I mean,
Regular.
yeah, I mean they do exclusively showcase lineups, so everyone's doing like a 10-minute set. So they're not bringing in headliners or stuff like that, but they've been there probably 10 years now, maybe longer.
12 years.
12 years now. Okay. Yeah, and
Yeah.
they've carved out, a unique place in San Francisco, and I think they're very much aware of. I mean, I'm explaining it to Denise. Denise, you work there. Like, how would you describe Cheaper Than Therapy?
Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of nailed it. Yeah, it's like a showcase lineup. It's good for showcasing like young new talent. But also like people who are kind of coming through, but mostly newer talent. It's located in Union Square in San Francisco, so close to downtown, a lot of
Oh, wow.
tourists.
Oh,
So a lot
wow.
of people visiting from other countries. So it's like as a comedian, it's amazing to kind of like experience like not just how your comedy does in San Francisco. But we still do get like a lot of people like who live in the Bay Area who will come and see the show, but it's a little bit more varied across.
Sounds
It's good
amazing.
stage
Sounds like
time.
a
Yeah,
great room.
it's great stage time, and if you get into that rotation, you're in front of an audience that's pretty mixed. You know what it reminds me of, Dan, is back in the day when you and I were coming up. It reminds me of Cobb's on the Wharf, right, where you had a lot of tourists and you had some Bay Area people.
Yeah.
And yeah, sometimes you had no idea why something wasn't working, and then you ask the audience, and it turns out there's like 15 people from Germany who
Right.
don't have a command of the English language. You're like, well, great, glad you're all up front.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was, yeah. It was kind of, it was different than the punchline.
Let me ask you this,
Touristy.
Denise. You're passed at the punchline, right?
Yeah.
And I mean that's kind of that's impressive for just 4.5 years in. Do you feel like when you're on stage at the punchline, do you feel any pressure to, oh man, I got to kill every time, or do you feel like, all right, I'm in? Like, what does that feel like?
Oh, that's a good question. I feel like it depends on if I'm hosting at the Punchline, like hosting for a headliner, I definitely feel like the pressure of like, all right, like I got to do well, I got to set the show up for success. If it's a Sunday showcase and I'm just going up as like a past comic in the middle of the show, it's changed. I think like when I first got past, oh my gosh, almost 2 years ago at this point. When I first got past, there was a sense of like I felt like I had to like prove myself to not the audience, but like other comedians,
Right.
almost. Where I was like, oh, like they don't think that I should be passed. Like I gotta do amazing. But now it's definitely like more experimental, which I like, where I'm just like, I'm past, like if other comics hate me, whatever, I hate myself. We have that in common. No, but it does feel like I'm at a point where I'm like, I don't really care what other unpassed comics think of me at this point, where I'm like, I do deserve to like kind of like be up here. Like I feel good about this, but
Good. Yeah.
yeah, I think the pressure still exists, like
It makes
for
me
like
think about when I was doing it. That was one of the biggest things that hampered me was my ego being damaged in front of other comics. It really got to me. It wasn't the crowd. It was the
Yeah.
idea of who's watching now and did Tom just walk in. It really messed with me, and I would notice other comedians that were just really, really successful and funny just seemed like a little beyond that. You just have to do what you got to do in the moment,
yeah.
and not worry
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, and I feel like I kind of realized after a certain point, I was like, oh, if people like want to like be upset, they're going to be upset. Because it's like if you kill with like your normal set, people who want to be upset are like, oh, well, they killed because it's like their best material. And then if you fail with new material, then they're like, oh my gosh, like they suck, you know? So I was like, they're going to be upset either way, so I'll just do what I want. Yeah.
You ever have a bit that you're so invested in and you want it to work and you keep trying it and trying it and trying it and it just doesn't work? Have you had a bit like that where you just commit and you can't get it to work?
Oh, every single day. I say most of my bits. No,
Aww.
no, definitely. I feel like I don't know. I feel like there are things that I just find so funny, and it's not even that I don't know how to explain it to people. I think it's like I explain and they're like, "We get it, but it's not funny." Like
Yeah. There's different kinds of reactions, different kinds of laughs, and I know that one. Like, no, we got it. Just no.
Yeah, they're like, that's an interesting observation. That's an interesting
Got it.
thought that you have. It's valid, but we don't think it's funny at all.
How often do you try something before you're like, okay, I gotta give up on this?
I think I'll always keep doing something if I am personally excited about it, but I do feel like my bar for being excited about something is pretty high. So it's not often that there's something that will like just fail every single time and I'm like, oh, but I'm so excited about it. Like I personally believe in it. But I know there's one bit that I'll bring back like every 6 months or so. It's just like it's stupid. It's just about like you eat a bag of chips and like it's a small bag, so you break up the bag to like you break up the chips so you get more chips. It's so stupid. I've explained it to many green rooms and they're like, Denise, don't say that. I go on stage, I say it, everyone stares at me and I'm like, y'all are right, but I'll do it every 6 months or so because I'm like, I think it's hilarious and it makes me giggle.
Have you ever had a bit that surprised you by how big the laugh is and you're not sure why it's funny?
Yeah, it's actually, one of my most classic bits that probably like one of my like the joke that I've had the longest that I still do now is my joke on like, I like to like gallop through the streets at night. When I first did it, I was shocked. I was like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever said. And it got a really good reaction. And I was like, I don't get it. And then the more I did it, the more I was like, all right, I guess we gotta stick with this one.
I'm the galloping comic now.
Have you started to notice beyond the material, there are certain quirks you have that work, that are get a reaction?
That's an interesting question, Dan. I recently started noticing this. It was actually another comedian, Phil Griffiths, who pointed this out. He was like, Denise, have you noticed that like when you laugh on stage, it actually like makes other people laugh more because of like the way that you laugh is really funny. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, I didn't realize that. And I was like, well, doesn't that feel a little bit cheap? Like I'm laughing at my own joke. And he's like, no, I think it's like its own separate thing because your laugh is so insane that like people enjoy that. And I was like, that's rude, but I will take that into consideration.
I haven't seen you laugh on purpose, I don't think. You know what I mean? Like, there are comics that do that, and it is annoying. Like, they'll laugh after and it's fake. It's a fake laugh. Mm-hmm. I feel like you get surprised sometimes, and it's fun to watch you laugh.
By my cackle, my own cackle. I'm like, oh my God, that came out
you have
me.
a fun cackle. You're having fun.
Yeah,
it's organic. You're having fun, and the audience has fun with you. There are two comedians that will remain nameless. That, you know what I'm talking about, Joe?
I think so. Yeah.
Insert
it's fake laugh. Yeah,
and it's annoying. Yeah, it's annoying. I just needed to say that.
I think I remember watching you one night at Cheaper Than Therapy. And I don't remember how it started. A couple comics before you were talking to a guy in the audience. And what we realized was this guy in the audience became sexually aroused when he was at his doctor's, right? And you were on stage talking to him again, and you couldn't figure out how the doctor realized he was aroused.
Yup.
And everybody in the audience and everyone backstage were all like, Denise, he got hard. Didn't you know? And we're trying to like will that into your head. And you're like asking him and you're like, you can't figure it out. And then I don't know if someone in the front row or somebody kind of like looked at you or something, but it was like you realized what he must have done. And you kind of turned red for a second and then you cackled. And we were like, oh, she figured it out. She figured it out. And that was fun to watch because you were just like, so like, I don't get it. What? And then, oh.
Yeah, I am confused a lot.
That's a cool moment though, where
Yeah,
you're
it
so
was
comfortable that you're sharing. It's total live theater.
It was. And I think that made it,
Yeah.
like, people are going to remember that. Audience members who were there, they will remember it. I mean, I remember it because it
that
was such
guy remembers it.
But what was going, I mean, I was going to say what was going through your head, but I think we know, but how did that feel to you when you realized, like, oh, okay, he probably got aroused, and that's, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was like one of those moments. I remember that night specifically because Joe, me and you were talking, and I was telling you about how I never talk to the audience, and you're like, Denise, just have a conversation with them. And I remember I was talking to this guy, and in my head, I was like, Joe, this is why I don't have conversations. I was like, because
I'm sorry.
I'm like, I just need like 24 hours to think about this, and then I'll know what he's talking about. But I remember at the time, I was like, oh my God, I was just like, this is so awkward for everyone. Like, it didn't register to me at the time that I was like, oh, this is like kind of like amusing. It was more, I was just like, oh my God, this is awful for everyone. And then when the moment happened, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, hilarious.
But that's fascinating to hear what you were feeling and thinking up there, because I really think the audience at first, for like the first 30 seconds, I think the audience felt like, oh, she knows what's going on, she's just faking it. But then the audience realized you didn't realize, and then it was kind of like the audience was like, this is kind of sweet, you know, in a way.
Yeah.
Like, who is this completely innocent person? And then when you realized it, it was again like the audience had this big moment of like, oh, okay, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, we watched her learn something about the human body today.
Because I think the whole thing started like, how did you know you were gay? Like, that was the question, I think, that another comic asked, and the guy's like, oh, I was at a doctor and I got aroused.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, oh, okay, you know, we know what's going on. And then you got up there and we're like, but
Was he
how
being
did you know?
serious?
He was being, I think he was being, yeah, he was being serious.
A doctor, and I got you don't hear that every day. That's an interesting gay story.
Yeah.
Why
yeah,
not?
Still don't know
Why
who
not?
he was. Yeah, he wasn't even sitting in the front at the time. He was just
He was way in back. Yeah.
he was way in the back.
So he had to shout that? Oh,
He basically came out to the audience.
came out to the audience. Wow. I was at the doctor, and I was... Denise, I tend to... By the way, let me just disclose. I tend to think... I see a comedian, and I've always done this. I feel like, okay, I know... like I should be your manager. I feel like, okay, I can see the talent. I got it. I get you, and you should listen to me.
Okay.
But that aside, this is sort of something I noticed. So I'm watching you, and I'm seeing it started off on YouTube, and you're telling jokes. I'm like, yeah, really funny jokes, funny, getting funnier, got it. And then I was watching you on Instagram, and it was a lot of audience participation, reaction stuff. And my sense was, oh, she's really comfortable here. Like, this is really, I can see where you're maybe at times just really organic and comfortable despite yourself. And it's all gonna move toward that. But I guess my question to you is, does that resonate with you a little bit? You ever find yourself just chatting with the crowd and be like, wow, that was really cool. That was really in the moment. That was really funny.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like I feel like the best sets that I have are when I'm having a good time, obviously. And I feel like when I'm having a good time is, yeah, when it's like more natural and when things are more natural. Like if the audience conversation comes, then yeah, then I think it's a good time. I feel like it's interesting that you say that I'm comfortable because I'm like, wow, I'm deeply uncomfortable at all times. But I do feel like there are also times when I'm like trying to like talk to the audience and it doesn't feel organic. And then I also kind of see the other side where I'm like, all right, like let's not necessarily force this. Maybe today's a no talking day. No talking to the audience day. Not allowed. But yeah, I do feel like when I am like in my most like comfortable state where I'm just kind of like whatever comes out comes out. That's when it like feels the best. And I feel like at Cheaper Than Therapy, that usually comes out more. Whereas at a place like the
Right.
Punch Line, for example, I feel a lot on it. Like I feel like at this point I still feel a lot stiffer, just because there are, I think, like actual like parameters where it's like, oh, you can't talk to the audience, you can't do crowd work. There's that piece, but
Well,
then there's
you're opening. I mean, that's
yeah,
a whole
yeah. Yeah, exactly. And
different
then I think
position to be
there's
in.
the second piece of like, oh, okay, like I got all this pressure of like I gotta like, do well because there's like a headliner here. I gotta like set the audience up for success. So a lot of like self-imposed pressure as well. I think that like makes it like a little bit like stiffer, where it's like it's jokes, but I'm like I know it's like not quite where I would necessarily want to be.
Like, I guess it's not right. It's not necessarily I'm saying, oh, maybe you'll just be a talk to the crowd comedian. I guess it's just saying I can visualize the headlining set. I can see it. I can see how it will come together.
Oh, really? Oh, you see it? I don't
With-
see it from me.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't see it, and I
You can't
yeah,
tell me.
we're not going to see it. I'm just saying something. I remember when I was doing it, I was never. I mean, Joe, I was not. You wouldn't describe me as a guy that talked to the audience.
Not occasionally, but it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't really your thing. No.
But at times, it was special.
Yeah, at times you would. Yeah.
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
got there by feeling comfortable and funny. And I think at the end of the day, as we keep doing it, it all kind of comes together. And the person telling jokes and the person talking to the crowd, you find your voice.
Yeah, yeah, and I feel like that's the part that I'm like really struggling with right now, to be honest. Where I'm like, I know who I am like off stage, but I'm having a lot of trouble kind of like bringing that on stage in a way that like feels like true and like organic to myself, but it's
Who
still
are
fun.
you? Who are you off stage that's not quite on stage? If you put it into
I
words.
feel like when I'm off stage, I think I'm just like a lot like I think I can be pretty silly on stage, but I think off stage I'm like a much sillier person. Just much
Really?
sillier. Oh, Joe's like, I disagree.
No. I mean, you seem like on stage, a lot of your comedy, you set things up very nicely. You make very clear premises, and then it's very silly. And I think the audience enjoys you being silly about it. So I'm like, wait, you're more silly off stage?
Yeah, or just I think like a little bit like looser. Like I just like even just like the way that I like react to things I think can be funny. I think it's just like I think I'm just like off stage. I'm just like really like enamored by everything that's happening around me because everything is so like new and like fun. And I feel like on stage I can be a lot more like, oh, like I have control of the
Yeah.
situation.
Right, right. So it's like to me, that's the process. Right there is somehow unleashing that. I mean, I like what you just said. I'm someone who is enamored with everything new, like that. That's a real point of view. You know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah,
And-
yeah, where it's just like everything's so special and I've never experienced anything before.
Over time, somehow that will emerge.
That's what I hope, Dan. I do hope that.
believe- Yeah, but that's like that. That's the like. I don't want to.
I like that you're
mean, it's-
answering as if it's a job interview, Denise. That's what I hope, Dan. That's what I'm hoping
That's
for
what I
over
hope.
time. Yes.
Got it.
My greatest weakness will become my greatest strength. No.
Ooh, good answer. Good answer.
like Joe, let me just. I'm not trying to throw. Drop names in a negative way, but fuck it, because it's interesting, because this is not.
Oh boy.
I actually find this very fascinating. Cash.
Okay.
Cash Levy. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not trying. He is a very. So there was this guy back when we were doing it. He might be still doing. Here's the point. Some comedians, like, he is a really funny guy, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he on stage. It wasn't that. He was a successful.
We can edit this out.
Here's the price.
I think I know what you're trying to say. It's off stage he was really, really funny.
He's a funny dude.
Yeah,
and
on stage he was funny as well. But
he was successful and funny, but not that.
He wasn't quite translating it on stage.
Yeah,
and that's what we're all trying to do.
That. And I find that fascinating. Some people, are really funny people off stage, and on stage, it's in a container that is limited.
Do you think it's true, Denise, what they say, that if you can be the same person on stage that you are off stage, then you're successful?
I think it depends on the person, right?
Right. So, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's kind of like, to me, it's kind of like, is that something that, like, I want? And I think, like, for me, like, I do want to be more myself on stage with the person that I am off stage. And then there are some other people where I'm like, you should be less yourself. I'm like,
great.
what you're doing on stage is working so well for you. Like, don't bring yourself off stage on stage, you know? But yeah.
Let me ask. Dan's digging for names.
Yeah,
I'm naming names. Well, there are just some people who I think, like, really know how to tell a joke, you know, and, like, the way that, like, they structure their joke is good, their material is good, they built a following off of that. But, like, off stage, I'm like, wow, they're kind of like not a. They're like
person?
a good person. They're a good person, but I'm just like, oh, they don't like to be goofy and have a good time, which is okay too. But for me, I'm like, I just feel like we should all be goofy all the time.
It's not a bad thing to aim for.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, because I'm always curious about this, and I'm wondering if it's changed through the different decades, but. As a woman in stand-up comedy, do you feel like there are expectations placed on you, or do you feel like sometimes you have been excluded from situations because you're a woman? Or, I mean, I'm trying to ask in a big general way, like, what's it like to be a woman in stand-up comedy right now? And I remember when Dan and I were coming up, there was a lot of debate, and it was still very much a straight white guy's game. Mm-hmm. And it was really starting to open up in the 90s. Mm-hmm. It exploded in the 2000s. Like, suddenly everybody who had a voice was coming on the scene, which is a good thing. But one of the things that I see, especially online, right, there's a lot of misogyny. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter if you're a straight white guy, if you're a straight guy, there's always this pushback against women. Have you felt any of that? How has that affected you?
Damn, I'm gonna be honest, Joe. I don't think I'm big enough to experience any of that misogyny.
You're not there yet.
Wow. Well, you have so much to look forward to then, Denise.
Oh man, I can't wait until I'm flamed online.
Yeah.
But I do think I can speak more just, like, locally. I think I do think that, like, there is, like, a general, like, if you are a woman in stand up, like, it's not that people, like, have certain, like, expectations, but I do think people are like, oh, like, women generally talk about, like, these, like, 5 topics or something. And I feel like for me, it's been like, oh, like, I know people, like, expect me to go up there and talk, like, exclusively about, like, dating and stuff like that. So I feel like I don't know. I feel like a lot, I try to, like, push myself away from that almost, where I'm like, oh, like, people expect me to talk about this. I don't want to talk about it. But then I, like, feel frustration because I'm like, it's like what I want to talk about. So there's that. I think there's like another piece too where it's around like there are just less women. So like in terms of just like trying to like find people who can kind of like give you guidance and like kind of like show you the path. I think it can be a little bit harder to find someone as well. Especially if you're like specifically like looking for like another woman like in comedy who's like forged like a successful path. Like I'm trying to think of like women in the Bay Area who I knew when I started who have like moved on, and I'm like, I don't think I like necessarily know that many of them or like knew of them personally enough where I'm like, oh, I feel like I could like reach out and like, have like a meaningful like relationship with them. So I feel like that's kind of like another piece. But in terms of like just getting like general hatred online, I look forward to that. I can't wait until that comes.
We'll have you back, and then we'll talk about. We'll celebrate that hatred.
I'll be like,
All
oh
right,
my
Denise.
gosh.
You made it. Someone
know,
doesn't like
come
you.
on, guys,
Sick
add to it.
What are some women you feel like have kind of blazed a trail in comedy?
Like from the Bay Area specifically, or just
Or
like
either. Any woman comedian you feel you sort of look up to or feel like has created a path to female success in comedy?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a couple. I mean, like just thinking about like more recently. I mean, I think like I love Emily Catalano. I don't think she really knows who I am, but like I really look up to her. I think it's been like really cool to kind of like see her career kind of like take off like from the Bay Area, and she's probably like one of the more recent ones. I think it's also been interesting to see other like female comedians who have like kind of paved success like in their own way, right? Which may not be like conventionally like defined by other people. Like Emily Van Dyke, I really, really look up to and admire, and I know like she's kind of like forged her own path and like how she kind of defines success, and that's been like really big for me too, because I think like I've always kind of seen like comedians are like, oh, you gotta like do this, you gotta move here, you gotta like get this achievement. And I feel like she's like in a place where like she's really like defined success on her own terms. And that's given me like a lot to think about, I think, like as I've like, started to kind of think about like, okay, like what do I actually want? Like what makes me happy? And yeah, I think those are probably like two of the ones that come to mind most recently.
Let me ask you, and I'm not trying to dig for dirt or create any beefs, and we don't have to bring up names, but and we can always edit things out.
Let's do it.
But yeah, Well, but let me ask you this, Denise, because I have had the experience of dating fellow comedians on the scene, and it has not gone well. And I know that you've...
Is there any example of that?
I don't think it has.
With anyone?
No.
Can you think
There's
of
some
one?
comedians who just got married, yeah.
Well, I mean, but...
Okay. That's not but the story isn't written yet. That's not a happy outcome?
I mean, people always think when you're dating, it's two comedians dating, they always like, oh my God, you guys must have so much fun. And for what I remember, what it ends up being is you're staying up in bed arguing over who gets the joke.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Or there's like a lot of like, you're like in the middle of like dinner or like just a normal conversation. They're like, oh, wait. I got to write this down. And I'm like, you don't have to. I'm like, I would.
I wouldn't. Don't bring that up. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, that's not funny,
Have you ever brought something on stage about your partner and felt like, maybe I shouldn't say this, but it's too good not to? Have you ever felt any...
I have only, so I'm a petty person, so I only bring things up once we're broken up. And then I'm like, oh, let me like just flame them as much as possible. But also it's like the audience doesn't know who I'm talking about, so they don't care. And then it's like other comedians, like they kind of know, but like they don't care enough. And then my exes are not booked on the same shows that I am. So I'm like, they'll never see it. I'm like, I'll probably never post it. But there is some catharsis where I'm just like, I will say whatever, but I don't feel like I ever feel comfortable saying it until like the relationship has inevitably ended.
You're
Okay,
a
so
petty person.
till
Wow.
wait till you're broken up. Here's my theory on that. Tell me what you guys think. I feel like if I'm writing a bit, as long as I don't name you by name, it's not about you anymore. Even if you recognize it, even if you could say, no, that just happened to us last night. Well, it's funneled through my artistic brain. It's a combination of, it's just not. Oh, I get, yeah, material. You have to write material on your experience.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
as long as
and
you're
they're a
not calling them
comedian.
out,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So they should, but it is fascinating to me because like a younger me, I'm like, look, if I got a joke out of this, I'm bringing that joke on stage, and if that hurts your feelings, I don't care. You understand what we're trying to do
Right.
here. Now, you know, looking back, I'm like, yeah, maybe I should not have told that joke where clearly everyone can connect the dots and figure out, you know, who I'm talking about, and then it's just awkward, and then you do end up on the same show, and then it's just a whole bunch of glaring, and then when everyone else is out of the green room, you're just yelling at each other.
Oh.
Anyway, this turned into more about me, but anyway.
I don't remember you, Joe. I don't remember you dating a comedian
Good.
that was able to get on
That was
stage. I remember you dating comedians that wouldn't have been allowed in the green room. Seriously.
Oh my God.
Oh,
I'm being
no.
honest.
Oh.
True.
Well, Dan, there was a lot of things that happened after you left.
After I left, that's right, I left.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
we won't get into that.
Yeah, we won't get it. But it's fascinating to me because, yeah, I feel like there's a good comedian is talking about their life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a huge part of your life. And then you can't put it in the context of other jobs and other. First of all, stand-up comedy has no HR.
Yeah.
Right? There's no
right.
one like, I'm going to take you to HR. You can't make that comment. We're not all in cubicles, but sometimes, yeah, we're backstage. We're in green rooms, you know, and then you go up on stage and everyone's like, well, that's clearly about me.
Yeah, yeah, and there's probably like a classier way to do it where it's like you can do a joke about a person and like not name them, but like for me
You can have
personally,
some
I'm like,
class.
oh, I will do everything but name them, but I'm like, I will list out traits. Such I did a joke. I did a joke a few weeks ago where like my ex wasn't on the show, but another comic came up to me and he was like, you should probably not do that joke anymore. And I was like, oh, I'm doing it. I was like, I'm doing it. I was like, I know. But yeah, there's probably a classier way to go about it, but that's
There's a
not
spectrum of class you can have as you do it.
Yes.
But
and
you got to write about something.
Yeah. And if it makes you feel better while you're doing it, I'm like, why not? You know?
And I would think, let's say you write a joke and it fucking kills. It's TV ready. It's awesome. I would say any comedian needs to be cool, you know, be cool about that.
Yeah.
You want to hope so. Yeah.
hard
You
to
want
come
to
by.
believe that they would at least like, okay, you know what? I'm mature enough
Yeah.
to
But that
let
would
you have
mean
that.
It's clever. That would mean it was written well.
Yeah.
It also would mean that we're all mature enough, but
Yeah.
let me ask you the big question, Denise, because I've so far you're the third comic we've had, and I'm really enjoying asking this question and seeing people's reaction to it. Do you feel like a success, like right
No.
now? What?
Yeah.
No
How
hesitation.
quickly.
That's crazy.
That's 2 out of 3 comedians we've had that interrupted the question. No.
Yeah,
Like
that's
a
amazing.
success.
That's
No.
amazing. Why? Why don't you feel like a success?
I don't know. I feel like there's like success in like the conventional sense of like have you like achieved certain things, and then I feel like there's success in the sense of like do I feel like I'm being true to myself? And I feel like that's kind of how I'm defining it right now, and I don't feel like I'm true to myself yet. But then I do think there's another part of me where I'm like I think like success in comedy for me truly would be like feeling like I could like quit comedy. You know what I mean? Where
Really?
I think so, where I'm like, oh, I don't need this anymore, but like I'm gonna keep doing it because like it like is just like a fun little thing on the side. Whereas right now I'm like, oh, I need this. Like this is all I have.
If you didn't need it, what would you need if you didn't need it? Like what would fill
Oh, I don't know. Probably like just inner happiness and like contentedness with myself and my being and my life.
Wow, wow. So if you weren't doing
yeah.
stand-up comedy, I mean, how would you achieve inner happiness and
Oh, I wouldn't.
success?
Yeah.
I don't think I would.
As
Wow.
someone who's not in it like you guys are anymore, let me say, if you ask me, am I a success? I answer no at the same rate. No.
Hmm.
And it's
Interesting.
because I'm not being creative as I was when I was in your position. And that's really real. And so you could say the same, but yeah, I'm a therapist, I have a practice, I have a life, and I do appreciate it. But at the same time, it's just kind of boring. It's not comedy.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and I really do, for what it's worth, look back and go, God, I should have considered myself a success. And it's not regret. It's not that I wish I had done something differently. It is it's a real accomplishment to get to a point you can be on stage all the time. And I realize there's a million people in front of you and there's a lot to accomplish, but I swear it is something.
It's so hard to
It
really
really is. It's
to
hard
drink
to,
that in. I remember being
hard.
really depressed, and I remember being really down on myself, and just being like, man, I was in a funk and everything. And I'm in the green room of the Punchline. The headliner is Jake Johansson, and he's looking at me, and he just goes, "It's Saturday night in San Francisco, and we have a show at the Punchline. Like, what could be better?"
Yeah.
And I intellectually, I'm like, yeah, he's right. But emotionally, it was like, yeah, but I'm not where I want to be, and I'm not, like. And I look back on those
Right.
moments now, and I'm like, yeah, I should have, appreciated it more. But
Right.
emotionally, it's like, yeah, it's. I wish we could enjoy the success that we have when we're having it, because the fact that you're getting on stage in San Francisco pretty regularly at respected places, that's huge. Just enjoy it, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And it probably
yeah.
took a lot of work to get there. And I realize you don't get what you deserve for that work.
Right.
But
'cause
it's
I feel like
it's a lot of work to be whatever, cheaper than therapy. I'm sure it was a lot to become a regular on that show.
I think part of it too is, like it's always like people are always like looking ahead. It's like, oh, you get passed at the punch. It's like, okay, what next?
What's
It's like,
next?
why are you still in San Francisco even? Why haven't you moved? Stuff like that. Yeah. Like when I think about like when I feel like I was like happiest in comedy, or when I felt like I was like most successful, is probably like within like the first 6 months of starting comedy, when I was just doing open mics, and I was like, wow, I'm having like the best time.
Good
And like
laughs.
I'm getting up at
amazing.
open mics. Like, how incredible. Like,
Yeah.
I would love to feel that again, but probably won't for a while.
I'll tell you something, if this helps, I'll tell you something that a reoccurring thought I have of what I didn't value about the success of being a comedian is that it's all you. It's totally self-created. You walk in with you in your mouth. And then one day they're paying you for it. You really miss that. It's amazing. And that's something that people say when I'm asked about how I feel about myself. And I'm thinking, well, why do I feel so shitty about myself? Yeah, I'm a therapist and I do this and this, but that's all laid out for me. It's not a creative pursuit. But to be a comedian, even if your parents are disappointed in you, it's just all you. Do you know what I mean? It's a blank page
Yeah.
and you got to pick it up on your own, and it's
Yeah.
no process outside of that matches. There's a lot of lows, but you can't match the highs
Yeah.
of. I remember being in San Francisco early on, Joe, when I was starting to get up, and I did remember the wood joke. Remember wood?
Yeah.
Pretty good joke.
Pretty good joke.
I remember doing. I'll do it real quickly. I was on foreign study, and this woman something about how you got these countries where there's no middle class, and I met this woman, and she said, "Oh, my dad owns all the salt in Ghana." I was like, "The salt, that is definitely old money. When you own a natural resource." That's bigger than any yuppie job. Yuppie, that was a word. That's clearly 90s. We don't even say that anymore.
That's
Any
so
yuppie
funny.
job we have there. How you doing? I'm assistant to the executive of Microsoft. What do you do? I own wood. Yeah.
it was a
Wood
great.
cut on. But I remember the rush of. I will never forget that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
The
you know
rush.
that's coming up in your set, and you're like, oh boy, I can't wait to do this new killer bit that I've got.
Yeah, but I will never.
Yeah.
But I remember the first time the.
Yeah.
And to date, that's the best moment of my life. Fuck it all. I swear to God.
Oh my God.
Wow,
It's
the best
true.
moment of your life.
It's a moment that you
Wow.
don't. Yes, moments like that, like
Yeah.
where I'm oddly. That's where I'm encouraging my son to get to.
Son, find your own
Hopefully-
wood.
Yes. Hopefully with less desperation and less angst and less all of that. Which
Yeah.
if he's got that, he probably won't go into comedy. But it's really meaningful. I swear to God, you guys. It's you can't.
No,
replicate that.
I vividly remember. Well, let's end on this then. Before like final question for Denise, like and subscribe us. We want to keep interviewing comedians.
Don't
Yeah,
unsubscribe.
thank you. Don't unsubscribe for God's
don't
sakes.
dislike us.
Don't
and
dislike us. Come on,
unsubscribe.
come
That's-
on. We're just trying
our
to
new
bring some
thing.
joy into this world. Come on,
Don't
come on.
make life worse.
Come,
for
you have
us.
the power to put some good in the world.
No, I'm saying do
Strangers
nothing.
online.
Just don't fuck
Just
with
don't
us.
do
Nothing.
anything. Don't do anything.
Just
yeah,
don't diss us,
yeah. That's all we ask.
motherfucker.
Denise, have you had that moment? I mean, I know you've had those moments, but can you think of a moment on stage where a bit really hit and you're like, ah,
Yeah, I think it's one of my earliest bits. I still do it every so often. I have a joke about going to Costco and like sharing a Costco card with like other Asian women. And I remember the first
I remember
time
that
did
one.
it.
That's a funny one. That's a real
It
funny one.
hit,
Say you
and
all, it says you say we all look the same.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny, and it felt so good because it didn't happen to. It's what my mom used to do, which is nuts.
yeah.
And it's one of those things where I was like, oh my gosh, like this is literally like from my life, and I'm like getting to like tell this, and like something that just seems so normal to me growing up, it can be something that is like so funny and like makes people laugh, like, you know, now. And I remember like the first time that happened, I was like, oh my God, because it was probably like one of the first jokes I did that was like really just consistently, I was like, oh my gosh, wow, like there's something here. And that felt amazing.
No, that's a great
That's
joke.
awesome.
And that's one of those jokes. You don't do it for a while, then you're going to be on the road somewhere, and you pull that out.
Yeah, and you're like, all right, like it's a
That's
classic.
going to work. Yeah.
It's a classic. Yeah, I love it. Well, thank you, Denise. We'll have
Yeah,
you back
thank
on
you
in
for
6 months
being with
once
us, please.
the hate begins.
Oh my
When the
God, I
hate
can't
starts,
wait.
I want you. We're going to celebrate.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for having me, guys. Dan, it was so nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you too. Good luck with everything.
Yeah, thank you, Joe. I'll see you on Tuesday.
I'll see you on Tuesday. Oh, that's right. Yeah, see you Tuesday. Looking forward to it.
All right, talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.